I'd like to call the regular Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting of December 18th, 2023 to order. We will open with the open forum. This is an opportunity for individuals to address the HRA. Each speaker is to keep their comments to a period of 3 minutes to allow for sufficient time for others. Comments are an opportunity to address the HRA. Please refer to the HRA agenda and minutes webpage for additional ways to submit comments. You may call into the open forum by dialing 1-415-655-0001. Use webinar access code 2630-863-1867 and password 1234. Do we have anyone calling in?
We do not.
All right. Is there anyone here in the chambers tonight who would like to address the HRA during the open forum? All right. Seeing no one, we will move on. Approval of the minutes from the regular Housing Redevelopment Authority meeting of November 20th, 2023. Are there any comments, or would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I move approval of the minutes.
Second.
All right. A motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That moves us to approval of the agenda.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
All right. The agenda has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Well, that brings us to staff report number 34.
Thank you, Acting Chair Hansen, members of the HRA, and I'm going to ask our Economic Development Manager, Jan Youngquist, to present that report. Thank you.
Good evening, Acting Chair Hansen and Commissioners. The property at 101 66th Street East was first vacated in 2013. After 3 years of neglect, it was purchased for redevelopment by PLH and Associates in 2016. After many years of work, the city approved plans for a 42-unit mixed-use building in October 2020, and the HRA approved a contract for private development to provide financial assistance in the form of tax increment in January 2021. Shortly thereafter, PLH sold the property to 101 East 66th Street LLC, the developer. In June of 2021, the developer presented new plans for redevelopment of the site, and on January 11th, 2022, the City Council approved plans for the development of an 80-unit, 5-story mixed-use building. On June 21st, 2022, the HRA approved a contract for private development and issuance of a TIF note for up to $2.3 million. Increases in construction and labor costs, as well as rising interest rates, have impacted the developer's budget. Ehlers, the HRA's financial consultant, reviewed the developer's revised project finances, and based on Ehlers' analysis, the HRA approved an amended and restated contract for private development and issuance of TIF note for up to $2.685 million on June 20th, 2023. The contract requires that construction commence by December 31st, 2023, and be substantially complete by December 31st, 2025. The building permit for the project has been approved and it's ready to be issued. Challenging economic conditions have made the project difficult to finance, however. The developer is exploring several options, including bringing in a partner to help finance the project. The developer is making progress and has requested an extension to the contract. A request to extend the land use approvals is anticipated to be considered by the City Council on January 9th, 2024. The attached First Amendment to the amended and restated contract for private development grants a 90-day extension to commence construction, with the ability of the HRA Executive Director to authorize an additional extension for up to 90 days. If the developer commences construction within that 180-day period, the HRA Executive Director shall adjust the dates of commencement and substantial completion in the contract. Additionally, the amendment clarifies that the TIF note will be payable solely from the increment generated from the TIF district throughout the duration of the TIF district rather than from the first 16 years. This is a holdover provision from the original contract with PLH that should have been revised as part of the amended and restated contract, but was inadvertently missed. Failure to extend the agreement would require the developer to begin the approval process anew. Delays will continue to reduce the amount of tax increment that will be available to the project, making redevelopment that much more difficult. The proposal remains in compliance with the goals of the comprehensive plan, and staff believes that helping this particular project to move forward remains the best option for the community and the immediate neighborhood. That concludes my presentation. I'd take any questions you may have.
All right, any questions?
I have two questions. The look-back provision, as I understand it, is to adjust the TIF note downward if costs are less, as opposed to adjusting it up. Is that correct?
That is correct. The look back will look back
Yep.
to see if the costs for the project are less than what were anticipated in the contract. And if that is, we would then adjust the TIF note accordingly. So the TIF note can stay the same, it can be reduced, but it would not be increased.
Okay. Great. And then the second one is the 16-year versus the 25-year. The TIF is going to be captured for 25 years because costs have gone up. Basically the same thing. As costs have gone up, so there's more increment is needed to fund the project.
Correct. So the project has changed over the years, and the original agreement had a 16-year window for the TIF. And that's how much time was anticipated to be able to pay off the costs. The project has changed, and also we're 3 years into the TIF district because it was certified in 2021. And so we're 3 years into that period already. So we're changing it from 16 years to the duration of the TIF district.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have any questions, but I will just say I plan to support this item. I will just, I guess, express light frustration on behalf of residents that this continues to be such a challenge. I am grateful to staff for continuing to work on this and try to find solutions. Yeah, I had so much hope when this developer took over because they had previous experience in Richfield and they really delivered. And I really hope on behalf of Richfield and behalf of the neighbors who live here that they're able to take advantage of this in the next 180 days. I know that playing tough with this doesn't help us because our options are diminishing by the day as the TIF district runs down. So this being the best option available for us, I'm certainly going to support it, and please get to work, North Bay.
Thank you. We'll relay that to the developer.
Yeah, thank you. I will go ahead and make the motion to approve a resolution approving the First Amendment to the amended and restated contract for private development with 101 East 66th Street LLC.
All right, and is there a second?
Yes, second.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That moves us on to staff report number 35.
Thank you, Acting Chair Hansen, members of the HRA. In June of 2023, the Housing and Redevelopment Authority approved a contract for private redevelopment with Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative to develop 38 units of affordable, supportive rental housing for neurodiverse young adults on the HRA-owned property located at 6613 to 25 Portland Avenue South. Under the terms of the contract, the HRA agreed to provide the project a $500,000 grant from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and to sell the property to Beacon for $1, contingent upon the HRA holding a public hearing for the sale of land. The project meets a variety of HRA and city objectives, including providing housing affordable at 30% of the area median income, housing for people with disabilities, and housing with supportive services. The project will serve a transit-dependent population, making it an appropriate land use and density for this small, irregularly shaped property located adjacent to a transit station. The contract requires that the project receive land use approvals. The City Council approved those land use entitlements on November 28th of 2023. The contract also stipulates that sale of the property will not occur until the project has received all of its financing. While Beacon was unsuccessful getting an award of low-income housing tax credits in 2023 to finance the project, they will apply again in 2024. Under the terms of the contract, closing must occur on the property by January 31st of 2025. That concludes my report. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. The developer is also present if you have any questions for them.
All right, any questions for my commissioners? Okay, this is a public hearing, so we welcome anyone here in the chambers tonight to come up and address the HRA on this issue, as well as people can call in for the public hearing. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to address the HRA? And if you'd like to go over to the mic over here, and if you would sign in and mention your name and your address. Okay. And I should mention I would request that to keep comments to 3 minutes.
This pen doesn't write. Okay. Good evening. My name is Kathleen Murphy, and I live just right a block away on Fifth Avenue in one of the apartment buildings there. And I have for years and years and years wondered, after the construction of Portland Avenue, what was going to happen to that lot. And now I'm still wondering if that's a good choice to put what you want to put there because of that D line with Metro Transit has their bus station there, and people are gathering there, even at night, to take the bus to go back down to downtown or wherever, Mall America and stuff, now that it's getting darker out now at the, wintertime. And I'm thinking, because I'm hearing a lot about places like even in Edina, right over there across the street from Southdale, where this man had come out of Cub around Thanksgiving and was waiting for the bus at 8 o'clock, and he was stabbed. That never happened ever before. And now all of a sudden I'm getting this notice in the mail that you want to put a low-income housing there. I wouldn't mind if it was just a regular apartment building, like I'm in, 2 blocks away. And that just gets me to wonder. Who's going to hang around if that's an apartment building? Who's going to be hanging around there at night and everything else? And so I'm really not thinking that this is the best idea for that spot, just because of what I've said about what happens at night around these bus shelters and stuff that are not well lit and that are not really controlled. And so people waiting there at night, it's like, we can't do that because who's going to come out and nab you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, I know that people low income do need affordable housing, but they need to have it in their own areas where it's safe to be, where they're not going to bother other people, because even in the parking lot of where I live, last year and the year before, it was like people were out there monkeying with cars. And then there were, and then there were people who were at the dumpster looking around, these old guys coming down the street, and it's like, can we really have that going on right here in this part of Richfield? So that is my concern about the safety of who's going to be living there and what activity is going to go on there. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else who would like to address the HRA tonight on this issue? Is there anyone on the phone?
There is not.
Okay. All right. Seeing no one else approaching the lectern to address the HRA, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move we close the public hearing.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing tonight. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Any additional questions or comments from the commissioners?
Mr. Chair, I would just ask staff, just to clarify, maintenance of the property as it is today, is that the responsibility of the HRA until closing occurs, or is that the responsibility of the developer?
It'll be the HRA's responsibility until closing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything in addition? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve the attached resolution authorizing the sale of 6613 through 25 Portland Avenue South to Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative, doing business as Astor Commons Limited Partnership and Astor Commons GP LLC for the development of 38 units of affordable supportive housing.
I'll second that.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And then that brings us to our HRA discussion items. Anything to bring forth tonight? Okay. The Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Acting Chair Hansen, members of the HRA. The two things I would just mention, the first is that Astor Commons, this development, did receive a substantial grant from the Metropolitan Council. Just last Friday, they voted to approve, or Thursday, a $1 million grant in livable communities, transit-oriented development funds, which I think might be the first time we've received TOD grant money in the city, so it's exciting that we now have a line that warranted that support from the Met Council. So that's very exciting. And then the second thing is that Woodlawn Terrace, which you acted on last month, they received a grant also from Minnesota Housing for $711,000 and some odd dollars to continue their utility work and to do a couple of new things. So excited for that outside funding support for projects in our community. And that's the end of the report.
All right, that brings us to claims.
I move approval of claims.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And that concludes our business tonight. We stand adjourned.